Hello internet and welcome back to the most inquisitive channel on YouTube, Life's Biggest Questions. The place not marked on any map, the place where here be dragons. What's going on guys? As per usual, I'll be your disembodied floating voice, Jack Finch, as we take to the skies, soar across a smouldering battlefield and gleefully roll a natural 20 as we excitedly ask the fantastical question, what if dragons were real? Be it 4 limbs or 6, there's actually a hell of a lot of science that goes into the fictional fleshing out of these great winged lords of the sky, which comes with the territory really, considering that our civilization has been obsessed with the idea of dragons ever since we crawled out of the primordial soup and span a few yarns around a toasty campfire. Be it the mushussu of ancient Mesopotamia, Apep of Egypt, the Leviathan of the Hebrew Bible, the Wyvern, the Lernaean and Hydra of ancient Greece, Jormungandr, Nidhogg and Fafnir of Norse mythology, or of course the gold hoarding dragon from Beowulf, it's safe to say that we've been pretty obsessed with our scaly winged overlords for quite some time. But what if they existed outside of the realms of fiction, manifested on our shared physical plane? What if dragons were real? Well, let's find out. Before we do that though, you know how it is by now. If you're a fan of this video, dragons, dragon slayers, or just life's biggest questions in general, then please be a worthy companion and hit that thumbs up button as well as that subscribe bell so you can stay up to date with our latest and greatest uploads. If you'd like to get in touch with myself or the wider creative team here at LBQ, or if you've got an awesome idea for a future video, make sure to let us know in the comment box down below. On with the show. Now, before we leap into the bulk of this alternate reality, we really need to footnote this burning theoretical question with a small segue. First, could a dragon possibly exist? Back in the day when humanity was but a mere toddler stumbling their way across the planet, ancient humans inevitably unearthed massive bones. Dragon bones, giant reptilian skeletons, unlike the anatomy of any known lizard, snake or amphibian. Of course, in hindsight, we know that these were the relics of dinosaurs, ancient beasts that dominated the planet for millennia through the Triassic, Jurassic and Cretaceous ages. But it germinated the idea of great winged conquerors of the sky, an idea so ubiquitous that the myth was shared in every corner of the planet, from Hawaii to Iceland to New Zealand, before any of these civilizations were even aware of each other. If dragons were real, then our answer would first be found in the building blocks of evolution. It's interesting considering whichever culture dragons happen to appear in, they're always reptilian. It would be easy then to look back through fossil records and find evidence of such mammoth creatures. The Titanoboa, an ancient giant snake that measured in at a staggering 40 feet with a body as thick as a man's waist. So if we look back through Norse mythology, then the idea of a giant snake, a worm, is prevalent in fulfilling the role of the dragon. But that's not it, is it? Because when we think dragon, we're not thinking massive giant snakes floating through the sky. We're thinking of a hulking, four-legged creature with bright leathery wings bursting from its shoulders, roaring fire and gathering storms with a mere flap of its deadly appendages. We imagine a creature that, from an anatomical perspective, should not exist. When applied to winged creatures, the square cube law states that when an object undergoes a proportional increase in size, its new surface area is proportional to the square of the multiplier, and its new volume is proportional to the cube of the multiplier. In short, for a creature supposedly as large as a dragon, it would physically be very difficult and highly unlikely for them to fly. However, we could take the winged pterosaur as an example, a dinosaur of similar size to our dragon, which utilized hollow bones in order to take flight with their massive frames. It means a trade-off in physical durability, but alright, that'll do, I guess. When we look at evolution though, animals with backbones have evolved wings on 3 separate occasions, in birds, bats and pterosaurs, all of which have membranous wings as forelimbs. It means that evolution gives a creature 2 options. You either have wings or arms, but never both. So in that case, it's highly likely that our theoretical dragons would be 4-limbed creatures, much more similar to the Wyvern and the fictional adaptations of the Song of Ice and Fire dragons, rather than the likes of, say, Onyxia or Nefarian from the Warcraft lore. Despite all of this though, whichever physical presentation of a dragon we'd get, things are looking pretty terrifying back on the ground. We've fleshed out the physicalities of a dragon actually existing and how they'd be presented in our theoretical timeline, but how are things faring for young humanity, facing the fact that there's terrifying, gigantic wyverns in the sky? And to be honest, actually, I'm feeling pretty confident. It comes down to two things though. Would dragons be friends or our immortal foe? It's safe to say a creature so large would have a formidable lifespan and would in all likelihood have a considerably large brain. Dragons of mythology are always highly intelligent. Smaug, Beowulf's dragon, or the ancient long dragons of China, creatures outside the squabbling of humanity. In one scenario, it's possible that a creature of such intelligence would see humanity as a highly capable pet, much like how canines evolved alongside our civilization. If that's the case, if dragons were real, we'd either live a life of servitude or enjoy a more peaceful coexistence and take to the skies as dragon riders, building our societies around the needs of our scaly overlords, much like the Targaryens and wider nation of Valyria in George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire. However, if the legends were true and the young human race perceived a highly intelligent dragon as an ever-looming threat, a creature lurking in a cave, belching fire, hoarding gold and kidnapping princesses, then inevitably, eventually, we'd hunt them all down and slay them. If dragons were real, they'd have faded long into the halls of fiction, eradicated by brave heroes with swords and shields, until eventually they were nothing more than an epic story told around a roaring campfire. Well, unfortunately folks, that's all we've got time for in today's video. Cheers for sticking around all the way to the end. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button and show some love in the comment section down below. As always, I've been your host Jack Finch, you've been watching Life's Biggest Questions, and until next time, you take it easy.